Hey folks, Jonathan here. If you don't want to watch an interior video or an upholstery interior video, and you might not want to watch this, and if you want to learn anything, you might not want to watch this, because we're just going to see what we can do with this. This is the one of the back seat bottoms out of the Golden Hawk. You can see it's white and green, and the green changes color depending on whether it was in the sun or not in the sun and all. But I've got a roll of green and a roll of white. Let's go back and do that. Now the only difference I see so far, what we're going to do is we're going to sew pleats in here instead of the I guess they're heat, put in with heat, and probably had some sort of a roller and heated it up and rolled it through it or something like that. But we're going to sew them in. We're going to use white piping instead of this silver, because I didn't buy silver because this was together and I didn't know it was silver, so we're not going to worry about that. So we're going to use all this for patterns. This is the entire seat right here. It looks like we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces. So we're going to take all this apart. We'll have to get something to do the bottom or the edge around it, and that's so you can hang your hog rings in and it's strong. I gotta figure out how they've done this triple stitch. I've never, or it's a double. No, it's triple there. Okay. It looks like they just folded it, done one stitch, and then laid this on it and stitched it twice with that on it. So that won't be hard to do from this side, following the lines. Maybe spray glue it down first and then do it. They probably glued it down originally, so we'll have to remember to do that. And I think what we'll do is mark these pieces out. Now, this is not the same from one side to the other. You can see the distance here in comparison to the distance here. This is a lot taller. And so I don't know if this is the driver's rear seat or the passenger's rear seat. I guess I probably should have marked that on them when I took them out, but I didn't realize it was different in that way. But I'll figure it out. And we're going to get this apart, completely apart, and try to take that out to the stitches. Where it don't come out with the stitches, we'll just have to add to it, or where it rips, we'll have to add to it for the seam. And then we're going to just cut patterns out and then put this back together where it goes. And I'll probably pop some pictures of this on my phone so I can get this back together exactly like it needs to go. And because you can get confused real quick with this stuff, and when you get confused with it, then you go to sewing stuff wrong and backwards and everything else. But that's the seat. That's the top, the front, and both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and get this apart, and then we'll do some patterns, and then we'll go from there. Okay, folks, along with numbering these, you can see 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is 7. Along with numbering them, I also marked where the seams go. You can see where these go together, and that way when I go to put it back together, if I have a question of where it needs to start being sewn at, just like with this is actually a lineup mark, so you can see how tough this 3 corners will be. Well, 2 corners. Like this with a lineup mark that goes around. But anyway, that way when you get ready, you can sew it all together like it needs to be. But we're going to try to get these flattened out some and get the, like I said, we've definitely got to add for the seam, and try to get something cut out here tonight before we stop at least. I've got to get some more foam, sew foam, to sew the back side of that. And I bought marine grade material, marine material, and I also bought white thread, which is a marine grade thread for upholstery. So we'll see how it goes. Okay folks, here's where we're at. We've got it all cut out, and we're going to go ahead and start sewing this part together. And like I said, I went oversized for everything. I'll give you an example. You can see the seam. You can see where this one's bent over. So you have to add, they say 3/8 of an inch, but I go about a 1/2 inch, almost a 1/2 inch, just because of the way that I sew. So anyway, now we got to get these parts all put together here. Okay folks, so just an update here on the floors. Welding this in, got the front. I got to cut some more out on the side and do it, and then we got these bottoms to do, which are going to be really easy. Just hammer out a pan that, you know, same shape as the bottom of it. We'll do both of them. We got most of that one done. Not happy with the actual material. You know, it was a aftermarket floorboard, but I'm not that happy with it. And then we've got a little patch to do over here. And I just set these seats in there. There's the back seats. I've gotten the bottoms covered, upholstered. And I've got a few wrinkles that I've got a steam gun now that electrical engineer sent me, along with some other stuff which I'll show you later on in another video. But we're gonna steam. I've steamed some on this one. We're gonna steam that one. Try to shrink up some of the wrinkles. But you know, this is the original back seat here. We may clean it up. I don't know if I'm going to redo it or not. You know, I repair cars, not restore them. So, you know, I haven't tried to clean the console or none of that up. But we may see what we can do. But anyway, you can see there's wrinkles from the factory in it, so in the other seat. So I don't feel so bad about a few little wrinkles that I've gotten. But otherwise, it's, you know, looking pretty decent. And I just set them in there to make sure, see how they was going to look. I'm going to take these back out. You know, I'm not welding with that stuff in there or anything like that. But anyway, picked up a car I wanted to show you. A buddy of mine owns a record service, called me and said that he had this behind his record. Somebody gave it to him, and he was either going to drop it at my house or drop it at his junkyard. But wherever he dropped it at is where it was going to stay, because he didn't want to haul it again. So he came and dropped it at my place. Now, there's not much left of this thing. He said it's a 63 Pontiac Grand Prix. It is a Grand Prix for sure. I sold Scott a 62, I believe, but this looks like it might be a little newer than that. But I'm not sure. The roof don't look nothing like the one that Scott got, the 62. But it's got, you know, a few good parts, hopefully, that he can use. There might be something in there. There's a whole lot of parts underneath this hood here that have been taken off, interior parts and stuff like that. But this is supposed to be a 389, and you can tell by the dust and dirt. It hasn't been rained on, but it hasn't been started in a long time. And you can see the mice have ate the plug wires in two. And points distributor, of course. Probably has a 2-speed power glide. It was an automatic on the floor, but being as old as it is, it'd be a power glide. Starters on it, transmissions on it, battery cables. I think there's enough that we can probably try to start this thing. And you know, you can see the dirt in the carburetor and leaves and a few other things. It's full of oil. It's nice and black, but it's oil.
63.
Is it 63?
Style 63.
Yeah, probably is. But anyway, this is nothing but parts, but not being stuck, we might be able to do something with it. Turns pretty easy. But can't have too many good Pontiac motors laying around anyway, so we'll see if we can give this a try. That power steering pump might be about unobtainium, that old.
Is that an aftermarket spacer for the fan?
No, factory used a bunch of them spacers, believe it or not, back in the 60s, early 70s.
Keep them cool.
Yeah, before they get it close to the radiator, before they started using clutch fans. But it's crazy too, because Scott needed these hood hinges, and I think he's already bought some, so he didn't quite wait long enough. But this was power steering and power brake car. Was not air conditioned. But and a lot of people don't think these had any overflow bottles on them, but they did. Right here it was a glass bottle that mounted. Here was your windshield washer, but that was overflow. And anyway, we'll try to do a first start on it and see how it turns out. Let's see what's under this hood now. Open it a little bit. Ah, there's two stereos. The grill. Or the grill front.
Off of
Looks like a decent.
Body by Fisher.
Yeah. Not much there.
Look at the trunk.
There's a bumper over there.
You can see right through the trunk.
Yeah, the trunk's rusted all to pieces. But like I said, if Scott can get a part or two off of it, that'd be good. And then we can check that motor out. He's using a LS engine anyway, so he won't need anything. I do like the TP in the door panels. That's neat. But we may, I was sort of looking for an older car with some good sheet metal to use for patching material. So this roof, you know, when you get a little bit older like that, it's thicker, but it's also a good flat piece. So we may do some cutting of some pieces out to do some patch panels. Tail lights and all are missing. Open the trunk, but it's really rusty underneath. I'd imagine the frame's probably rusted and it had a lot of Bondo. But you can see to the front, the floor back there. Yeah, somebody's taken all the rotors, everything off of it, so I guess they used it for parts and got what they needed. So anyway, we hopefully will maybe try to start this in the next few days and see if we've got a good engine to use in something. And Scott, if you are watching this and you need something, it's here. I think it's got a nice headliner. Hard to believe.
The door panels won't look that neat.
Part of them. Alright, I think I know why they didn't fix this one. A lot of frame rot. Okay, and here's our front bottom seat that I've got to redo. Of course, you know, just like the back ones, I'll have to do some foam work. This I'm going to have to replace. The other ones was some repair foam. I watched some videos on it. And here's our backs. And we'll do these next. Let me lay it down here. Not terrible. I mean, I can get a good pattern off of that one. And so them shouldn't be too bad. But we'll redo both of these and get them in, and then we're going to debate on the back as to whether we're going to leave it or redo it. I did order some carpet. I hope it's supposed to be right for that car, but we'll see how that works out. But anyway, we'll keep at it and I'll show you more. I appreciate everybody watching. Bye.